Well, good Tuesday evening to you. I am First Alert meteorologist David Ernst here with a weather update. You can find me on Facebook at David Ernst, WBAY meteorologist. We are streaming this on the WBAY TV2 page, so you have a chance to interact, ask questions there. We're also pushing this out through the news app. It's on YouTube, so we have multiple ways to get this coverage. Obviously, the weather is not too active right now, but in times of severe weather or when things do get more active, we will certainly be putting out this type of coverage as well. And just a reminder, if you don't already have our free WBAY First Alert weather app downloaded and on your device, I do have the QR code right underneath me there. So if you're watching this on a desktop or a laptop, you can take out the smartphone and point the camera there at the QR code and get the app on your device for free. We'll be talking about our next weather maker. The first round of it arrives on Thursday night, continuing into Friday. There'll be some hit and miss rain showers, probably a few thunderstorms embedded within that activity. Not anticipating anything severe, but possible there could be a few stronger storms still in the mix. Storms likely to be a little more intense as they develop back into Minnesota. They will push in our direction overnight and then wrap up over the course of Friday morning. We'll see another batch of rain showers coming in Sunday through Tuesday. I, at this point, would expect Monday to be the day where the rain is most widespread and is the steadiest. But obviously, we're still several days away here, a week away almost. So there certainly could be some change, some wiggle room there. Bill, nice to see you on here on the Facebook feed. We're looking at cooler conditions then after that system moves out next week. As far as things go tonight, very much like last night, it's going to be a quiet one. We have a clean sweep here on First Alert Viper Max, not much in the way of cloud cover overhead. Earlier on, we did have a few little rain showers across parts of Minnesota. That activity has faded away. In fact, the wide view here will show the next weather maker coming in. That's a line of storms across parts of Nebraska and Kansas. We will eventually see this disturbance bring some of that stormy weather into our area. So what will happen on Thursday is we should see those storms firing up across parts of Minnesota and Iowa, and then those would be what would push in our direction overnight and into Friday morning. We'll get into First Alert Pinpoint Predictor here in just a second, but before we do that, let's talk temperatures. It was another warm day across the area. We had our highs well into the 80s once again. Temperatures right now, for the most part, are running within several degrees above or below where we were yesterday, so in many regards, a very similar evening to what you had outside on Monday night. Temperatures ranging anywhere from the middle 60s. In fact, Green Bay, one of our cooler spots right now at 66. 64 in Fond du Lac. We do have some low 60s there lakeside, and still a few spots holding on to those lower 70s. Dew point temperatures through most of the day have been in the 50s. We had a handful of spots with some lower 60-degree dew points, so there were some areas where it maybe felt slightly humid. And we continue that around Oconto, getting into Marinette County, lakeside as well. Dew points a little bit higher there. As you get farther away from the influence of Lake Michigan, you see those numbers dropping into the lower to middle 50s. So the air is relatively dry, and that is going to lead to temperatures falling quickly through the night. And I would expect lows for most of us to be in the 50s, lower 50s up north and middle 50s around the Fox Valley. Could have a little bit of fog developing. It does depend a little bit on the wind. When the wind goes totally calm, you just end up with a lot of dew on the ground. But if there's a little bit of wind out there to mix things up through the night, you can see some fog developing. So we'll be watching for that. But outside of any fog, it's going to be a quiet night. Now, you see this runner predictor has those winds calm. And so that's why I don't see any fog showing up there. If we had things mixed up a little bit, perhaps it would be a different case. Now, just because predictor doesn't show it doesn't mean it won't happen. There certainly could be some areas of fog around, but it likely is not a widespread problem. Looking ahead at your day tomorrow, lots of sunshine, not just for the morning, but well throughout the day. Maybe a little bit of high, thin cloud cover arriving late, but it's going to be, in general, a sunny afternoon. We will start out with temperatures that are generally in the 50s. Maybe someone lakeside can hold on to some lower 60s, but I would say most of us are in the low to mid 50s overnight tonight. Something to note, the average low. This is the first night where it drops to 49 degrees, so we're well above that, but it will be a little cooler out for tomorrow morning than it was earlier this morning in most locations, and might also be a degree or two cooler in the afternoon. Your high temperatures tomorrow should still make the mid-80s, upper 70s expected lakeside. Let me see if we can find the high temperature graphic here, and we'll show you what the highs were today. But in general, high temperatures this afternoon, mid-80s, a couple spots hit the upper 80s, but 86 was a common number earlier. Yep, and that is the high officially for Appleton and Oshkosh. Green Bay must have hit 87 in one of the in-between hourly observations. We did have the high at 86 for a time, but we, like I said, must have bumped into that 87-degree range there in between one of the hourly observations. Wapaka, as it has been the last couple of days, the warm spot on the map at 88 degrees. So still feeling very summer-like this afternoon. Again, tomorrow you might be a degree or two cooler, but it is still going to be an unseasonably warm day. So let's talk about the system that will bring us the changes. Let's get into that. So here is First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. We will pick this up on Thursday at noon. Notice, not much going on. We'll see some clouds rolling in. That should be about the extent of it. And then as we head into Thursday late evening hours here, you see those storms that I was talking about flaring up into Minnesota and Iowa. These are those storms getting in late Thursday night. This runner predictor, maybe an hour or two faster than the run before it, but you get the idea here that it's going to be a late night event, not something we have to worry about coming in during the afternoon or even the early part of the evening. It's going to be after 9 or 10 o'clock that we see rain and storms arrive. Rain could be heavy in spots. Again, I don't anticipate severe thunderstorms, but you could certainly have some wind gusts upwards of 35, 40 miles per hour. Heavy downpours obviously would be possible anytime you get thunderstorms coming through. This run of predictor clears things out even faster as we get into Friday. There will be some question mark. Do we see something redevelop? But you'll notice how quickly those clouds fizzle out and fade away as we get into Friday afternoon. So my expectation would be for a round of storms overnight, some lingering rain, maybe even a rumble of thunder on Friday morning, and then cautiously optimistic as we head into Friday afternoon and Friday evening that we will be drying out, which would bode well for any high school football games. Operation Football, I believe we're into week 5 at this point. And looking at mix of sun and clouds at kickoff, of course, now that the sun is setting before 7 o'clock, you'll still have some sun on the horizon, but the sun itself will be down. Looking at temperatures dropping slowly through the 70s and into the upper 60s as games are winding down. It is going to be feeling a little on the muggy side on Friday, so not as cool and crisp as we have seen a few of these more recent nights. Even though we've had some hot afternoons, the humidity has not been too bad, and so that has allowed us to dip into the 50s at night. So even if you had to fire an air conditioner up during the afternoon, I've been opening windows up at night, and it has felt great inside the house when we get into the morning hours. So let's take a look at that dew point trend, and then we will take a quick look at the forecast as we get into that Sunday, Monday time frame. Let's see, there it is. So the extended dew point trend here will show an increase in humidity to end the work week. We're looking at a comfortable day, at least in terms of humidity tomorrow. Yes, it is going to be a little on the hot side, but humidity won't be too bad. Now, Thursday, we'll see a south wind pick up, could be up around 10 miles per hour sustained, and that is going to start to push in some of that muggier air. I still think it feels, maybe slightly humid on Thursday, and then it will be stickier, muggier on Friday and Saturday. After that, as we continue to see a disturbance bring in several rounds of rainfall, the temperatures and the humidity both should be dropping as we get into the new work week. So we'll go ahead and use the split screen here with our American GFS computer model on the right of the screen and the European on the left. And this is just to give you a broad sense of the unsettled forecast this weekend. We're still kind of nailing down the time frames where the rain would be most widespread. I think the GFS, as we get into Saturday, well, both Saturday and Sunday, your guidance here keeps everyone totally dry. So going with a mix of sun and clouds, dry weather on Saturday. Now by Sunday, you'll notice the GFS starts to bring in a few of those rain showers by the morning and certainly getting into the evening hours. The European lagging a little bit behind by perhaps 24 hours or so. So I'm kind of hedging my bets, if you will, going middle of the road. I think we'll see some showers start to develop and move into the area at some point by Sunday afternoon. And then I would expect the most widespread rainfall to occur during the day on Monday. and even might see some showers lingering into Tuesday. Again, because of the timing differences here, the GFS has most of it to the east of the area by Tuesday. European still holding on to some rain showers through the day, although the GFS does redevelop some activity late. So at this point, keeping those rain chances on the lower end just because of the uncertainty regarding the timing. Again, I think Sunday starts out dry, but we'll see some showers develop over the course of the day, and then some occasional rain on Monday. That's probably when it's the most widespread, and then we see those showers start to exit the area on Tuesday, and then I would anticipate that we do see some cooler conditions as we get into the middle part of next week, although once the sun comes back out, perhaps temperatures do rebound, but we'll go ahead and leave you here with the extended 7-day forecast. Your Super 7-day will show 80s on the board through the end of the work week, and then we start to see those 70s appear. Now, the first day of fall is Sunday, and that's going to be the first day that we start to cool down, but temperature should still be above average there. We're looking at our highs in the upper half of the 70s, and then cloudy skies, a more likely chance for rain showers on Monday. So low 70s there, and I'll keep it around 70 degrees for your high on Tuesday as well. In fact, that pretty much is the computer average after Tuesday, is upper 60s, low 70s from the National Centers for Environmental Prediction. When you look at the GFS weather model, it's ensemble camp, generally low to mid 70s next week, and then by next weekend, upper 60s and lower 70s. And the European weather model and its ensembles are generally in that territory as well, with highs in the lower 70s all next week. And then as we get into the start of the following week, we see those temperatures dip into the upper 60s. The normal high today is 72, but that normal high is dropping 1 degree every 3 days or so. So by the time we get into the low 70s next week, the average high will be down in the upper 60s. So even that 70 degrees on Tuesday is still slightly above average. So we're going to continue with that warmer than normal forecast through the end of the month as long as temperatures stay in the 70s. It does look like we should start to dry out towards the middle part of next week. Make sure you're checking back for updates if you have weekend plans. First round of rain and storms arrives Thursday night into Friday, and then we'll see additional showers and some cooler weather as we get into the new work week. Hope you have a great rest of the night and a good Wednesday. I will see you on Action 2 News coming up here in about half an hour.